Welcome to another exciting update from our YouTube channel. We are thrilled to have you here and hope you continue to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Please note, some of the details in this article may be speculative or unverified, so take it all with a pinch of humor and a sprinkle of curiosity. The scene at the memorial today was one that no fan, no colleague, and certainly no loved one ever wanted to witness. As tens of thousands of hearts across Korea and around the world mourned the passing of the legendary Lee Sun-Jae, an icon whose influence reached far beyond the screen, something even more emotional unfolded quietly in one corner of the funeral hall, something that broke the hearts of everyone watching. Today, we take you into that moment, that raw, heartbreaking space where two of the brightest stars in our industry, Jun-Ho and YoonA, were seen shedding uncontrollable tears as they paid their final respects to a man who shaped generations. And as we walk you through the story, thank you for being here with us, for tuning in, and for sharing this moment. As a global family, from the early morning hours, the hall was already filled with an overwhelming sense of grief. Lee Sun-Jae was not just an actor. He was a pillar of Korean entertainment, a fatherly mentor to veterans and rookies alike. The somber atmosphere deepened as fans and reporters lined up meticulously, each step echoing the weight of loss. But when Lee Jun-Ho and YoonA entered together, everything seemed to pause. The cameras lowered slightly, the whispers softened, and attention shifted as the two walked in, instantly recognizable, even masked and dressed in full black mourning attire. Jun-Ho, who has always been known for his professionalism and composure, appeared visibly shaken. His eyes were already red, indicating he had been crying long before stepping out of the car. YoonA tried her best to support him, walking close beside him, her hand quietly brushing his arm as if to give him strength. Yet even her gentle effort could not hide the pain on her own face. Her eyes glistened with tears. She continuously tried to hold back, but they betrayed her emotions each time. They welled up again. Viewers who later saw footage from the scene described their entrance as the moment that shattered the silence because their grief was so raw, so human, and so unfiltered that anyone watching couldn't help but feel it in their own chest. As they approached the portrait of Lee, the trembling in Jun-Ho's shoulders became more visible. Those who knew the relationship between him and the late veteran actor understood exactly why Lee Sun-Jae wasn't simply a senior. He was a mentor, Jun-Ho deeply respected, someone who had advised him during his transition from idol to actor, someone who had praised his growth, someone who once publicly said, "Jun-Ho is a young man with great sincerity. He will go far." Those words stayed in Jun-Ho's heart for years, guiding him whenever he doubted himself. And now, standing in front of that large portrait framed with white chrysanthemums, he finally broke down. He bowed deeply, but before standing straight, his hands rose to cover his face. And for a moment, the reporters who witnessed it said they felt as though they were intruding on something too painful to capture. His shoulders shook, and the soft sound of him trying to stifle his crying could be heard even through his mask. YoonA stepped forward closer, her eyes completely filled with tears now, and gently placed her hand on his back, trying to steady him. The cameras caught that moment, not for gossip, not for speculation, but because it was one of the most genuine displays of pure emotion seen from the pair in a long time. YoonA herself bowed after Jun-Ho, but as she rose, viewers noticed her tears finally falling freely down her face. She wiped them quickly with the back of her hand, but more kept coming. Those close to her knew she also shared a meaningful connection with Lee, who once praised her acting transformation and encouraged her to take on roles that challenged her artistic depth. She often described him as a warm presence who made you believe in yourself even when you doubted everything else. So today, standing before his portrait, she too succumbed to the gravity of the moment. The two stood side by side for a long time, their hands quietly clasped together, supporting each other in silence. It was impossible for fans watching from afar not to feel their hearts tighten. Many online comments later described how emotional it was to see the pair leaning on one another during such a painful farewell. Their love, their bond, their humanity, it was all in that moment, one fan wrote. Another commented, seeing Jun-Ho cry broke me. Seeing YoonA comfort him broke me again. And truly, it was a sight that no one could forget. For a couple often admired for their chemistry, sweetness, and professionalism, today showed a different side, a deeply vulnerable, deeply human side that resonated far beyond entertainment. They were not idols, not actors, not stars at that moment. They were two grieving souls saying goodbye to someone they admired, someone who contributed to their artistic journey, someone irreplaceable. Even as they stepped aside to allow others to pay respects, Jun-Ho struggled to compose himself. He wiped his face under his mask several times, but the redness in his eyes only deepened. YoonA reached for his hand again, this time squeezing it gently as they moved to the waiting room provided for mourners. Fans outside the hall later described seeing him walk slowly, almost staggering, with YoonA by his side like a silent guardian. Inside the waiting room, several colleagues approached the pair, offering quiet words of comfort. Some placed hands on Jun-Ho's shoulder, others simply bowed. YoonA bowed back politely, but her tears still fell every now and then. Someone handed her a tissue, and she thanked them with a small nod, her voice barely audible. Meanwhile, Jun-Ho continued to keep his head lowered, wiping the tears that refused to stop. There was a moment, one that was later retold by a senior actor who had been inside, when Jun-Ho sat down for a brief rest, overwhelmed by his emotions. YoonA sat beside him, not speaking, simply holding his hand and allowing him to grieve. It was a quiet scene, one that showed the depth of their connection, far more than any public appearance or fan speculation ever could. For all of their glamorous red carpets, bright airport photos, and sweet fan meeting interactions, today's moment in that quiet room revealed something deeper: loyalty, love, and the kind of emotional support that only the closest of partners can offer. As time passed, their eyes remained red, their expressions soft and sorrowful. Even when they tried to smile gently at those offering condolences, the pain beneath those smiles was unmistakable. And yet, despite their grief, they bowed respectfully to everyone, embodying the humility and grace that Soon-Jae always emphasized in his teachings to younger artists. When they eventually stepped outside again, hoping to leave quietly, the crowd waiting outside fell silent. The pair walked slowly, still close to each other, their expressions solemn. Jun-Ho paused briefly, looking up at the sky before lowering his head again, while YoonA remained by his side, guiding him gently through the crowd. The cameras flashed, but the photographers remained respectful, keeping distance. From that moment on, social media erupted with messages filled with sympathy, admiration, and heartbreak. Viewers expressed how moved they were seeing the two so deeply affected by the loss of someone they cherished. Many fans also shared old clips of Soon-Jae speaking fondly about his juniors, including moments where he encouraged young actors to pursue excellence with integrity. Today, those clips served as painful reminders of how much the industry had lost. Meanwhile, fans of Jun-Ho and YoonA continued to share comforting posts urging the pair to stay strong, praising their sincerity, and expressing how proud they were of the dignified way the couple handled such a heartbreaking moment. Their bond is even more beautiful in sad moments, one viewer wrote. Others commented how witnessing this side of them felt deeply personal, like seeing two people lean on each other during life's hardest realities. As the day went on, the grief did not fade. Jun-Ho's agency released a brief statement expressing his deep sorrow and describing how greatly he admired Soon-Jae. YoonA's agency also shared that she was deeply saddened and grateful for the guidance he offered during her career. Neither statement captured the full depth of what they felt today. But fans, who saw their expressions, their tears, their trembling hands, they understood. Today, witnessing two beloved stars like Jun-Ho and YoonA break down this way is painful yet deeply human. It reminds us that behind the cameras, behind the lights, behind the fame, they are real. People with real hearts. Deeply affected by loss. Just like any of us. As we bid farewell to YoonA, we also witness the fragility of life, the importance of connections, and the quiet strength of those we love. Today, Jun-Ho and YoonA showed us not just grief, but love. Love for their mentor and love for each other as they comforted one another through tears. May YoonA rest in peace. May Jun-Ho and YoonA find strength, healing, and comfort in each other as they navigate the difficult days ahead.